So, guys, as you get started this morning, I want to appreciate all of you joining us. This is a really special morning. I'm very excited to have Aaron Decker as a special guest speaker this morning. Aaron spends so many Saturdays training with his team, as he hasn't been able to do so many Zooms. That now that we've been quarantined and everybody's kind of staying at home, we've been blessed to have he and Dr. Ginger a few times on Saturday mornings. And so Aaron's been a good friend of mine for, goodness, we're approaching the second decade. So that shows my age. And I've really watched this guy develop from I call it, he's a real cowboy. I mean, I see these guys wearing cowboy hats sometimes, but this guy's a true cowboy. He competed in the rodeos, and I've seen the trophies he's won, the saddles. I guess that's the right way they give away at those rodeos. But Aaron's been a great friend, but he's also one of the top network marketers, not just in this company. I mean, he's been in the top 2 or 3 power rankers in the region always, but he's one of the top network marketers in earnings in the world all time. So, I mean, we're talking about someone that I have much great respect for, and someone that I really not only care about. I know his heart is not just about his team, and he's a really good person. And I say that with all sincerity. Aaron Decker is one of my favorite people in this whole world. So, Aaron, I know you're with us, and everybody's here to hear you, not hear me introduce you. So I'm going to turn it over to you, and you already been made a co-host. I don't know what you got planned. I'm just going to sit back and take notes.
I'm just going to talk, Chris. And if you saw my setup, it's pretty redneck, but we can post that later. You guys, here's the thing. First of all, it's an honor to be on here and be able to share with you a little bit. And, listening to Chris, I'm thinking, who's he talking about? Because what I want to talk to you about this morning is, what it takes to win in business, that winning edge in the heart of a champion. And that's something that I didn't possess. I know that, we've got people that have so much talent, and I want you to understand, like last week with Brent Palmer and, running the bases. And I mean, here's a guy that's a coach, and he's coaching you guys, and it's just unbelievable information. Or you've got Todd Rowland, on the pay plan, and there's like, you've got Chris Doyle from the business perspective. And there's so many tremendous leaders in this company. And today I'd like to talk and I'd like to speak, and I don't want to offend anybody. So there's my disclaimer. All I'm going to do is let you hear what the conversation that I have in my head every single day. Cause I wasn't blessed to be gifted in many things, right? Like I've worked for everything. And I want to go back, right? Cause the winning edge, I believe, starts in your mind, but you got to get that right first. Cause if we don't get that right, I don't believe that you can develop the heart of a champion. And so for me, it goes way back, and I bet for some of us, right? So I'm speaking to 1 or 2 people. I literally this morning going through my routine, I'm like, Lord, help me touch one person that can resonate with something that I say today. Because a lot of this is speaking from the heart. I put out some bullet points, but I think raw and real is the best way to communicate a lot of times. And so I was thinking about, man, I remember when I was a kid in grade school, and in our little school, it was just a little school, and I literally did walk uphill one way, not both ways, but one way to school. And I remember they were going to have baseball tryouts. And man, I just wanted to be a part of the team. Can anybody relate to that? Just want to be part of the team. I don't need to be the guy. I don't need to be the girl. I just want to be a part of something. And man, I worked my little tail off. And, they had the little, what do you call those things? Tryouts. And I remember the coach after the tryouts, and he's going to post, who made the team. And he said, Aaron, I need you to come to my office. And I'll never forget, the guy's name's Mr. Hollander. He was our history teacher, and he was also the coach. And I'll never forget the day when he pulled me aside. He says, listen, I can't let you be part of the team. And man, anybody ever had that disappointment? You ever felt that disappointment when somebody said you can't? And what do you mean I can't be part of the team? He says, well, there's some talk in town that you're, affiliated with some bad kids and you're doing some bad stuff. And I won't get into that. And it was a lie, right? These people told a lie about me, and he believed enough to keep me from doing something that I wanted to do. And so in that moment, even as a little boy, I had a choice. Chris, I had a choice, and I could listen to that, and I could say, you know what? Well, that's it. I'm done. I quit. And he said, now if you want, you can come to practices, but I can't let you play in the games. So what I did, Chris, is I decided that I'm going to go to practice, and I'm going to practice harder. I'm going to get there earlier. I'm going to stay later, and I'm going to do more than anybody else on the team. And it was interesting. By the time we were done, he's like, boy, I sure wish that I would have allowed you to play on the team. because I just worked harder. See, you guys, in this business, I'm not the person that's supposed to win. I developed, I'll say, a heart of a champion. I don't know that I am a champion, but I developed the heart of a champion by deciding that I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. And whatever it takes to win, a lot of times is hard, right? So you can have the best coach with the best plan and the best, game plan. All of that stuff can be right. We can have the best products. We have the best owners. You have the best pay structure. Everything's right. But here's my opinion. You and I, if we can't get past ourselves, that's step one, right? Like if I can't even get up to the batter's box, the best system in the world isn't going to work for me, right? So what I want to talk to you is the battle's in our mind. And if you and I can win that battle, and you don't have to win it very long to win, we got to have short little wins, because your mind, the world is set up, unfortunately, where we get distracted and we've been told. So just like that coach, guys, I can go through and I can spend the next hour talking about all the things that people have done in my life growing up that told me that I can't or I'm not good enough. Can anybody relate? Anybody ever told you that you can't do something or you're not good enough? You see, and in those moments in life, you guys, I believe that's what separates the winners from the losers. Not that you're a loser in life. Everybody's a winner, right? But as far as what you set out or what you told yourself you were going to do. See, so many times we allow those little insecurities from our past to creep in and overwhelm the adult us, if that makes sense. Right? There's a little verse in the Bible, Romans 12:2. It says, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of what? Of our mind. And I'm not going to preach to you, although I'd like to. Because some of us, we need to transform this. We're doing physical transformations. We're doing financial transformations. Guys, if you and I don't start with a mind transformation, I'm suggesting to you that this is going to be a struggle. This is going to be a long battle. Remember, the battle's in your mind. It starts there. And if you can win that battle, man, the rest of this stuff gets easy, because you've got some of the best coaches, teachers, mentors, and leaders that exist anywhere in the world in this industry. Just look around. From Canada to Mexico to Europe, to Australia to, all across North America, all around the world, we've got the best leaders. Look at our owners. I hope you had the opportunity to listen to Fred the other night. And, Fred talked about the mindset of a billionaire. And I've got some people, and I know Jeannie's on here. She's like, man, I was being honest. And when he said, if I scored this, that I just need to quit. Now, that's not exactly what he meant. He meant you need to quit being that person, and you need to start to transform to be the person that has the mindset. But I'm suggesting to you, for me, I looked at that and I said, hey, listen, man, I'm a joint-heir with Jesus. Like, that's better than a mindset of a billionaire, right? Like all I got to do is I got to take and I got to work on this. And if I can get past this and I can get down to my heart, man, I can develop that heart of a champion, right? Because a heart of a champion, people can't stop that. You become unstoppable. So how do we do that? So I want to take you through some stuff, and I've been leaving some little Zooms and stuff on a little Facebook group that we got. And I think it's applicable to today. And I hope that some of this helps, and some of you might drop off, and that's okay. Come back on when Chris talks. But I'm talking to somebody that needs to hear this message today. So my question to you is this, and again, if you be honest with yourself, what's that thing that you promised yourself yesterday that you were going to do in your business that you didn't do? I'm going to say it again. What's that thing that you promised yourself? Today, I'm going to do this to build my RX business. Today, I'm going to call this person. Today, I'm going to send this video. Today, I'm going to follow up with that person. What's that thing that you told yourself that you're going to do that you didn't do? Why is it? Now, I bet most of you have kids. You probably have a spouse or a significant other. I bet all of you got parents, right? Maybe some of you are at your job, have employees that are under you. Maybe you've got coworkers. So let me ask you a question. Are we supposed to teach people to lie? Are we supposed to teach people to lie? Do you teach your kids to lie? Did mom and daddy teach you to lie? Do you teach the people at your work to lie? Of course not. See, if you guys could all talk at one time, you would say, well, no, Aaron, that's ludicrous. Lying is what? Lying is wrong. Don't lie. So why did you tell yourself something yesterday that you're going to do and you didn't do it? Doesn't that mean that you lied to yourself? Why is it that you and I, now I'm talking, guys, here's the thing. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking at myself and letting you hear what I'm talking about in my head. This is what I go through every day. Why is it okay? I say, Aaron, why is it okay to lie to myself, but I'm not supposed to lie to others? So I get into business and I promise myself I'm going to do all this stuff today. You ever been there? You ever get off a call? Man, I bet how many of you got off of Coach Brent and Todd Rowland Zoom last week and said, man, that's it. This is it. I'm going. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do everything they said and I'm going to go do it. I'm going to win for myself. I'm going to win for my family. I'm going to win for my team. And within an hour, you found out that you were already lying to yourself. And by the next day, you don't even remember what you promised yourself. And by the next week, you're so far past what you promised yourself, you've just buried it and you've allowed it to be okay for you to lie to yourself. Why would you do that, right? Stop allowing the negative you to win. And make a decision, right? A decision is to cut off all other options. See, we talk about decision as if it's a friend on Facebook, right? Like, ain't nobody got 10,000 friends. You got 1 to 5 friends. If your definition of a true friend is what mine is. You see, I respect Chris immensely. Why? Because he's not just flipping saying that. I promise you, tonight at 3 o'clock in the morning, if I called up Chris Doyle, I said, Chris, I need you. And I need you to be in Michigan tomorrow morning. Chris would get in his car and he'd drive to Michigan tomorrow morning. To me, that's a friend. If I called up and I said, hey, Brent Palmer, and I haven't known Brent very much, but I know his heart, right? Because I can feel his heart. If I said, hey, Coach, listen, man, I got a huge, significant problem. I need this favor and whatever that is, I bet you that he'd come through, right? There's very few people that you and I can count on in life. But why is it okay that we let ourselves down every single day? See, there's a few people that you'll never let down. And you and I have no problem letting ourselves down every single day. You and I lie to ourselves and let ourselves down every day. You see, here's the thing. We all have the same 24 hours. Somebody says, Jay, hey, I ain't got no time. Brother, if you can find more time in a day, right? Like I got 24 hours. If you can find more than 24 hours, I want to talk to you, right? Like that's not a good enough excuse because if everybody has 24 hours, why does one person win and one person not lose? What's the difference? I'm suggesting to you that it starts here. I'm suggesting to you the person that has the mind of a winner and the heart of a champion, they just get past that negative self-talk and they don't allow themselves to lie to themselves. They hold themselves accountable. They find ways when they make a decision, right? They make a decision, they follow through on that decision. But here's the thing. How many of you have ever made a real decision? Not a fictitious one. Listen, here's the deal. You have to differentiate what is a real decision, right? Notice I put that, and if I was typing this in, I would capital R-E-A-L, caps, all caps, a real decision. See, you've made fake decisions, probably, well, maybe you haven't, but I've made fake decisions my whole life. I've told myself many times, hey, I'm going to call this person today. In fact, I love being transparent. There's still one person, and I'm going to get into another story, and I'm going to tell you about a lot of people that I did contact, but there's still one. There's still one. If I went out there this is my wife's office, when I go out there where my stuff is all sitting and I looked at my little calendar book, I can show you one person's name that was on there yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before and the day before. And you know what else? Everybody else has a check. Everything else that I was going to do has a check, but that one. And every day I lie to myself and I tell myself, today's the day. Guess what's great for me today? I have all of you looking back at me. Guess what I'm going to do today? I promise you, as sure as I'm sitting here, I'm going to make that call. Why? Because I'm sick of lying to myself, and I'm not going to lie to myself, and I'm not going to be some kind of person that's telling you or suggesting to you to go do something when I'm not willing to do it. And see, here's the thing. Art Williams, he's got a great speech, and he's just an amazing man. Go listen to his stuff. It's really good. He says the difference between a winner and a loser is a winner's willing to do what a loser's willing to do, but just a little bit more. You see, you and I got to be willing to do it just as a little bit more. See, I got to lie to myself a little bit less, right? I got to make promises and keep them a little bit more. I don't got to do a lot more. I just got to do a little bit more. I got to lie to myself a little less more. And when that happens, all of those things compounded over time, you guys, that starts to develop that winning edge that you and I need to go win, right? And once you start to win this, right? Once you start to transform and start to renew your mind and saying, hey, I'm going to lie to myself less. I'm going to make decisions and keep those decisions more. That's when you start to make a difference. That's when you start to gain personal momentum, right? But here's the thing. Now, I'm the eternal optimist. I'm not a pessimist. But here's what I can tell you. So don't expect this, but don't be surprised by this. Okay? Don't expect this, but don't be surprised by this. When you make a real decision, I'm suggesting to you, it's gonna be tested. Why? Because I believe it was set up that way. Why, Aaron? I could get into a whole story, and that would actually be like preaching, and I don't care, but because it was set up that way. You see, there's a guy, I'm going to just say the story. Chris can knock me off whenever he wants. I'm going to say the story. There's a guy 2,000 years ago, and he had made a decision. And, here's why it was set up that way. Because, can you imagine having 12 of your best buds around you in the last 30 days of your life, knowing what's fixing to happen, knowing what they're going to go through? Man, that had to be pretty hard, right? Don't you think so? But then imagine this, 30 minutes, right? Because most people quit. Most people give up on themselves. Most people give up on their dreams. Just a little bit shy, right? One person told me about 30 days shy. Well, sometimes it's 30 minutes shy of just getting that breakthrough, just getting past yourself. Well, check out this dude 2,000 years ago, man. 30 days was tough, but that last 30 minutes, can you imagine a bunch of people beating you, spitting on you, putting stuff and making fun of you, poking fun of you? And you had the power to say, I'm out. I'm tapping out. I'm tapping out. This is about me. I don't care about everybody else. I'm out. But you went through. Why did you break through that? Why did you put up with that? But check this out, man. Sometimes, you guys, in life, sometimes it's that last 30 seconds. It's 30 seconds that you and I know the pain is too great. Well, hey, you want to talk about great pain? Can you imagine? I mean, think about it. This dude's hanging up on this deal like this, arms spread out, nails through hands and feet. And the pain had to be unbelievable, right? Like I can snap my fingers and get out of all of that pain. I can just say, forget it. It's about me. It's not about everybody else. It was so bad that he even said, yo, help me out here. Do I really have to do this? And the answer was yes, but check this out. Once that last 30 seconds was done, what happened? Unbelievable pleasure. Not only did he win for himself, he won for all of us. Imagine if you and I, so who am I to think that I'm not going to have some challenges? Who am I to think that I'm not going to have to push through that next 30 days, that next 30 minutes, that last 30 seconds? Who am I? Who do I think I am? I'm just some guy down here trying to do the best I can do for myself and my family and provide hope and opportunity for others. But who am I to expect an easy road if it wasn't set up like that, right? Like, if a king's kid has to go through that, what should you and I have to go through? Now, you're never going to have to hang and suffer, but here's what you're going to have to go through. You're going to have to go through some letdown. You're going to have to go through some disappointments. You're going to have to go through some people, saying, yeah, I want to do this, and then they never answer your call again. You're going to have to go through some people saying, hey, I got those products, but I'm going to send them back. Okay, so is that really tough? Did that really hurt? But I want you to ask yourself this question. What's on the other side of that? Have you really thought about what's on the other side of what we would call struggles? See, because I'm suggesting to you, somebody saying no, somebody not calling you back, somebody saying you're in one of those things, somebody returning products, somebody quitting, somebody starting and then quitting, somebody starting and then never even returning your phone call. I'm suggesting to you, that it's really not that hard. And I'm suggesting that's not really a struggle. You see, I've watched people fight illness. I've been blessed to, and this wasn't even a struggle. I only had 16 surgeries, right? My arm's all messed up, hospital, whatever. That wasn't a struggle, man. That ain't struggles. Go talk to the guy with no arms and no legs. And you know what he's going to say? Heck, this ain't no struggle. Go talk to the guy with no arms, no legs, and that can't talk. That's a struggle. And that guy's going to say, no, this isn't a struggle. Talk to the guy with no arms, no legs that can't talk, that went through a bad fire and is burned all over his body. And you know what he's going to say, or she's going to say? That's not a struggle. You see, you guys, if you win this, it goes to this. And you realize those things that we think are struggles really aren't. We just made them out to be, right? You ever hear the molehill, we turn into the mountain, right? Think about this. In that book, and it was written several years ago, it's been around for a long time, but in that book, it talks about a little mustard seed. That's a little bitty thing. And so that little bitty thing, here's the thing, that little bitty thing, it can distract you or it can propel you. See, but it comes down to a choice. And the choice is this. Am I going to allow my negative self-talk to talk me out of making that phone call that I promised myself? And then I'm going to allow myself to lie to myself and keep lying to myself. But then I'm going to be a fake and a phony. And I'm going to tell my teammates that they got to go do that, which I'm not willing to do. So who am I to start to preach and teach at you when I'm sitting back here behind my own insecurities, my own fears, and my own doubts? You see, what happens is that starts to erode your belief. Not just in this company, you guys. I'm suggesting to you to erode your belief in yourself, because then I become a fake and a phony, and nobody wants to be a fake and a phony. You see, we all want to win. I believe every single person, I believe we're all a child of the Almighty King, but I believe every one of us has the heart of a champion. I believe that we have the ability to have the mind of a winner. But see, here's the amazing thing about the human race. We've been given the God-given opportunity of choice. And somewhere along the line, we've allowed others, growing up, we've allowed our surroundings to dictate more times than not the choice that we make that we're willing to stick to. Why is that even right? Learn to push yourself and hold yourself accountable. I'm going to say that again. Learn to push yourself and hold yourself accountable. So, I was in the gym and I had a little routine, and then this little conundrum that's going on in the world, and no disrespect to anybody. And if you're somebody that's on the front lines, God bless you. I appreciate you more than you can know. But I also appreciate all of our police officers, our firemen. I appreciate our teachers. See, I appreciate all those that serve every day that are underpaid and underappreciated. See, and I think that there's good that can come out of anything, right? Like crushing my arm is one of the best things that ever happened in my life. And I promise you, as sure as I'm sitting here, and again, it's all a choice, but there's many of us that will look back at this time and say, this is the best thing that ever happened. But see, it's a choice. Some of you have chosen to just go ahead and allow life to overwhelm you right now. But there's others of you that have chosen to take this time and work on yourself, work on your business, and propel yourself forward into the future. So as you and I learn to push ourselves, so like I'm up in my gym, I got a little gym in the barn. It's an old kind of Rocky type gym, right? Old equipment and stuff like that. It's cold. I got a little furnace in there. And I told myself, man, I'm going to get up there and I'm going to do it. And first day was kind of hard. Second day was a little bit easier, but kind of hard. Third day, I'm getting a little momentum. Fourth day, I go up there, the doggone furnace doesn't work. It's 32 degrees in the gym. Guess what I started to want to do? Make excuses, right? Like, hey, it's cold in here, right? Like it's cold. Tammy, it's cold in here. I tell you what, man, I've got 4 days in a row. I've done pretty good. Nobody's going to know because nobody knows if I'm doing this or not. What if I just wait today and I'll come back tomorrow and maybe I can get the furnace working? But then it kicked in. I'm like, why would I lie to myself? I told myself yesterday that today I'm going to go work out. So you know what I did? I started working out. My hands were so cold on the weights, I had to go down and get gloves. See, sometimes, you guys, we have to figure out a different way to get around our own selves, to push ourselves to do that which we promised ourselves that we're going to do. I'm going to relate it back to business. What have you been promising yourself day in and day out, year in and year out, week in and week out, whatever that's been, ever since you've been here? Every single one of you, when you started, when you put that credit card down, when you filled out that application, when that person shared this information with you, every one of you, without exception, I promise you, there was something in your mind, something woke up for a moment. There was something that you said, wow, I have hope. I have hope that maybe, just maybe, this can help me to get my physical body better. Maybe this can help me to get some finances flowing. You see, what you saw, in my opinion, is is it really possible? Like, Aaron, is it possible that I could go and, I could be a Brent Palmer, a Todd Rowland, a Chris Doyle, a Ken Bailey, a Duke Tubton, a Stefan Page. The list can go on and on and on. A Devin Kenstein. Like, is it really possible? Could I be a Steve Schwartz? Could I be a Tim Sales? Like, is that really possible for me? Don't you understand? I'm the guy that couldn't make the baseball team. Don't you understand? I'm the guy that they told that could never be a rodeo guy. I'm the guy that the doctor walked in and said, you'll never use your right arm again. See, I'm the guy that was told, you're not good enough. See, if anybody's ever told you any of those things, that you're not worth it. And so what I started to do, you guys, is I started to believe those things that people told about me. And all of a sudden, I started to believe that stuff so much, I started to feel that I had no value to give. You see, I thought I was not worthy. Like, yeah, that's good enough for Chris, but it's certainly not good enough for me. You see, there's times where I even maybe got some momentum, and then the fear of success became greater than the fear of failure. I'm going to say that again. The pain of, what if they find out that I'm not good enough to win? Man, what if they find out I'm not that smart? What if they find out that I don't know how to use technology, so I got a big old whiteboard that's jerry-rigged up the top of this thing that could topple any time? What if they find out that Aaron Decker just ain't that good? Should I just quit? You see, because if I quit, then I don't have to worry about failing or embarrassment. You see, so I got an idea. So if I just quit today, now here's the thing about quitting, especially in this business, because many of you, whether you realize it or not, you quit a long time ago. Oh, you're here. You'll show up on a Zoom. What you quit doing is you quit doing those things that you know that you were supposed to do to go build your business. See, you quit doing those things that you promised yourself that you were going to do. See, because what you allowed is the world and all those insecurities, just like me, to creep in there. And you said, man, if I show up, they'll think I'm still in. But see, I really quit because I don't want to be a failure, and I certainly don't want to embarrass myself when they find out that I really wasn't that good, that I'm really not worth it. Here's the best thing about this business, you guys. I'm nothing. What I've got is I'm surrounded by incredible people. I've got an incredible team. I've got incredible teammates. I'm part of an incredible community. You see, I'm nothing. But with all of you, that means that I'm something. Why? Because I'm willing to do just a little bit more. I'm willing to stretch myself a little bit more. I'm willing to lie to myself a little bit less. I'm willing to take one more step. I'm willing to put myself out there just a little bit more. I'm willing to risk being embarrassed at least one more time. I'm willing to make just one more phone call. I'm willing to hear no one more time. You see, and every day, if I can win that little battle, every day in my mind, what starts to happen is it starts to strengthen it. So see, like when I started working out, man, there's days past where I could lift a lot of weight, and I went up in the gym, and if I threw on, the 2 plates and said, hey, I'm going to throw up 225 for 20 reps like I used to, and I went to the first one and it fell down on me and it pushed me down there. Should I judge myself by what I used to be able to do or by what somebody else can do? Or should I say, wait, Aaron, why don't you just start where you can and do what you can each day? I'm going to say that again. Why don't you just start where you can and do what you can each day? See, don't compare myself to the former me. Don't compare myself to somebody else and what they're willing and able to do. I can't compare myself to a Todd Rowland. I can't compare myself to a Mark Wilson. I can't compare myself to a Rick Redford. Like they've got more experience, different skill sets. They've been given different God-given talents, gifts, and abilities. But also, don't allow those other people, those negative people in my life, don't allow that stuff to creep in. Why don't I just start where I'm at with what I can do? See, because that's a really good place to start. And then what you do is you say, okay, I'm gonna do this today. So I'm gonna do 4 sets of this weight and 3 sets of that weight. And I'm gonna do as much as I can, and I'm gonna do it to enough where it starts to hurt, but I'm not gonna do it so much where it hurts so much where I'm not gonna come back tomorrow. But then tomorrow I'm going to come and I'm going to push myself just a little bit more. I'm going to struggle when I lift that weight just a little bit more. And in that little bit of struggle, I'm going to start to gain. And I'm going to gain some muscle. I'm going to gain some momentum. I'm going to gain some confidence. I'm going to gain some self-esteem. But most of all, you guys, as you're doing that, and as I'm doing that, what I'm gaining is self-worth. Realizing that maybe I am worthy. You see, maybe those people were wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have listened to others and what they thought. Maybe I shouldn't listen to opinions that aren't in alignment with what I believe. You see, I believe you all have the heart of a champion. I believe you all have the mind of a winner. I believe that with all my heart. I promise you I do. But my belief in you doesn't matter. My belief only matters what I believe for me. You have to believe it for you. And when you start to make that subtle shift, I promise you, you will experience things that you never thought were possible. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever had the thought? Be honest with yourself. Have you ever, sometimes, some moment, maybe life was going good, maybe it wasn't going so good, but have you ever had that thought? I really got a little more that I could give. You ever had that thought? I'm only kind of doing enough just to get by so nobody really knows. I'm doing just enough to get by so my husband thinks that I'm working. I'm doing just enough by so my wife thinks that I'm doing just enough so my kids. I'm doing just enough so my coworkers. I'm doing just enough so I can get past myself and look at myself in the mirror and say, well, Aaron, gosh, you spent 4 hours on Zooms today, man. You're crushing this business. How many people did you invite? And what you learned, did you go and apply? You see, and if most of us are honest with ourselves, the answer is no. I got more to give. I got more to do. I got more people to reach out to. And I got more work to do on myself. You see, if you want to really have what it takes to win, if you really want to develop that winning edge, how much time are you willing to work on yourself? Now, here's the thing. When you work on yourself, don't do it during business hours. You work on yourself. You get up a little bit earlier, you go to bed a little bit later. Don't you dare decide that, okay, man, this guy, Aaron, because here's the deal. I'm not allowed, I'm not going to give myself permission. Okay, if you take this right, I can't give myself permission to work on myself during hours where I should be doing income producing activities. See, to work on myself, I got to get up a little bit earlier, stay to bed, or go to bed a little bit later. See, I got to find some time in that 24 hours that I can utilize if I really want to develop that winning edge. I can't take income producing quality time and then call that work time while I'm working on myself. You see, a champion, they do things that other people aren't willing to do in times that other people aren't willing to give up. Does that make sense? So a champion, so if you listen to Fred Cooper, what do you say? A billionaire watches a total of an hour of TV, not a day, but a year. Okay, are you willing to give up 30 minutes of your TV time? Are you willing to give up 30 minutes of whatever that time is to develop yourself? And I'm suggesting to you, if you'll give up just 30 minutes a day, somewhere around the really early morning or the really late night, if you're willing to do that and you're willing to do that and you hold yourself accountable, remember, if you promise yourself you're going to do it, don't lie to yourself. You wouldn't lie to anybody else, so don't lie to yourself. And you spend that extra 30 minutes in personal development, in growing your mind, in growing areas that you and I need to develop. That'll give you that winning edge. And what happens is think about this. If you and I will train ourselves on all the ways how you can win in life, on all the ways, again, train your mind on all the ways why your business will work for you, right? So we accept all of the negative stuff that says why it won't work. But what if you and I started to train ourselves on all the reasons why it will work? Guess what? I promise you, personal momentum will kick in. And when personal momentum kicks in, you start to develop that toughness. You start to develop that heart of a champion. And you then start to go do those things that champions do. You start to go implement those things that winners do. And then what happens is someday, somebody's going to look back and they're going to look at you and they're going to say Jackie, and they're going to say Connie, and they're going to say, hey, Big John, and they're going to say Melanie, and they're going to say Gary, they're going to say Richard. Boy, did you get lucky. You see, now they're not going to give you credit for what you had to go through. They're going to stand back here because they weren't willing to do that, and they're going to point at you and say, oh, yeah, but you're lucky. Here's what I know. Every leader in our company, they didn't get lucky. What they did is they went through the process, whether they know it or not, that we just talked about. They got past here. It finally developed here. They made a real decision to do whatever it takes to win for themselves and their family. So as I wrap up, and I hope I didn't go too long, but as I wrap up, here's my last little thing. What are you willing to promise yourself that you're willing to do this week for your business so you can start to develop the mind and the heart of a champion? Thanks, Chris.
Wow. You have me hair standing up on my arms. I'm not going to finish with anything on that, Aaron. I don't know how you can put anything else to say. I mean, Aaron's called everybody on here to understand that we're sitting with an opportunity, and that came from his heart. I think you can tell by looking at his emotions right now. I had people texting me, Aaron needs water. So I text Ginger, Aaron needs water. You were rolling. And I'm just telling you something, guys. We all are in a position right now, and I honestly mean this, that I think our timing is impeccable. But if you don't do the work, if you don't plunge in, and I've told a lot of people this, and I hope I don't offend anybody by saying this, but I've heard people tell me many times they prayed for this, they prayed for an opportunity, and this is so many people out there. I mean, that's just not once. I hear this probably 8 or 10 times a week, yet they quit on themselves when they had prayed for the opportunity. All they can do is provide the opportunity. God only provides you the opportunity. If you're not a praying person, I'll pray for you. Bottom line is, guys, we're great in a position here. I'm going to finish with that. I don't know what else I can say. Anybody, guys, I'm going to stop the recording.